This is my power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the hours and take what's ours.
That's so offbeat. Like, what is wrong with you?
Thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
hey,
that's pretty
bro.
bad.
Look, there's a delay between us.
It might almost be as bad as Black Adam.
Because with Adam's rhythm, it was like pa pa pa, and Jordan's over here going. Da, da, da.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I had the soul and the spice in it. He was trying to put some paprika in it, but you know.
Yo, I was trying to spice it up. All right, let me live. I put some sazon on it. All right.
Shut up.
Oh, hey, we're doing a show. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is the Daily Kazoo, and it's your boy.
This man almost didn't pronounce it right.
I kind of again. Putting paprika on, all right? Let me
moving on.
I am the official Megs. That is JPhrygian. We've got KingVonSchweetz, and we've got 13th of May here. Everybody say hello. Everyone say hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming back. We appreciate everybody being here. Special guest today. It's our first special guest, like on the show with all of us, actually.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think usually we have a guest when one of us is missing.
Yeah, if one of us is missing, it's usually a fill-in. You are actually the first actual guest.
I'm so honored.
Never invited ever again. So anyways, so usually what we'll do is see how everyone's doing. How is everybody doing? How is everybody's week? I have strep.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how my week's going.
But he didn't have COVID after
Positive.
New York Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Great.
Did you I assume you've been fine. You went to work.
Yeah, I'm good too. I was fine, yeah.
I'm good.
Sleep deprivation and tiredness. Yeah.
Yeah,
my legs still isn't working completely right. Like I tried to go work out and it just it wasn't happening.
I still hold on. I still want a real answer. Why did you excuse me, you know what? Let's just do this. Why did you go to none of the after parties? I'm curious.
There was not one after party. To any of them.
That is a bold-faced lie.
I swear to God.
Dun, 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 dun. No, this is not happening.
The answer.
Oh, this is who
invited me to what after party?
All you had to do was roll with us because we weren't invited necessarily to anything. We just found our way.
We were invited to everything.
I didn't go.
We.
Well,
wait a minute.
Actually,
no,
what's up?
I didn't even know they were happening. I was just like, I would lose you guys, and then you were gone forever, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta go home.
I can assure you, two of us have receipts saying, "Are you going to the after party? Do not make me."
What? Absolutely.
I will pull receipts. I will pull receipts. Anyways,
you know how I am. I don't like to push myself onto people, so I thought you guys were just chilling. I was like, whatever.
I believe the term is we shut shit down is what we did.
Okay.
I will say this, Gina, you would have been fine because it was sometimes people pressing their ways into places we was trying to go, and we was nice and we let them, but it was
I don't
frustrating.
know if let them is the right term. I believe just happened would be better, but moving on, I will tell later. So usually the first thing we do is we do a thing called the best thing I've seen all week, hence scene, like a scene of a movie or scene of something or that I've seen. This is not a good thing. It's pretty sad, actually. I wanted to play it. Yeah, it's the worst thing I saw all week. So Jordan, unfortunately, play it.
10 years of my life, and my children had grown up during it, of course.
That is Robbie Coltrane, finest gamekeeper in Hogwarts, last day on Harry Potter.
Another one.
The legacy of the movies is that my children's generation will show them to their children. So you could be watching it in 50 years' time. Easy. I'll not be here, sadly.
Oh.
Don't you think on it for 1 minute. But Hagrid will. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hagrid left us. Robbie Coltrane had passed away yesterday, and really kind of shook everybody. 72, great life, you know. And it's hard when people get like, there's a certain age you start getting towards, and it's like, oh, I can't believe they died, and it's like, well, they were 90. Like, at some point, it was happening. 72, still sad.
This one just took me out. There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid.
Yeah.
You know what's been the worst is there's a TikTok audio out there that I don't remember her full handle, but Meg, she does a lot of Disney content made, and it's got like just quotes about Hagrid from all the movies, and it tears you apart. It's so sad.
Yeah, really nice guy. Boy, Heaven's got a great keeper up there now with them, and wish nothing but him and his family the best. And we're thinking about him, and it's a sad day. It's definitely a sad day.
It is sad that like they just had that reunion, but I mean, I guess it's good that he got to participate in it. But he literally just was like, "Yeah, 50 years from now, like no one will remember me, but they will remember Hagrid."
Do you know what it really kind of tugged on me, especially with something coming up, was Chadwick when they were asking him about Black Panther 2, and he's like, "I'm dead. I'm dead, gone." And it was just like that Hagrid thing was rough for me to watch because I kept thinking about Chadwick and when he was telling everybody he was dying.
Yeah, and then when you go back and watch that first clip after Black Panther won, an Oscar and everything, and he was just like, "You can't have Black Panther without a 2 next to it." I was just like,
"Yeah."
All right, moving on.
Here we go. Moving into gaming. This is something we can actually all kind of agree on. There is a 4-player game coming out, but not on launch. Jordan, what do we got?
Gotham Knights. This has had a little bit of a back and forth upcoming release. Gina, are you a gamer? Do you game a lot?
I dabble when I have time. Which is not
she does Sims and Farmland. That's it. Farm Simulator.
Look, Jacob gets into some Disney Dreamlight Valley. Okay, that's
a fire game though.
It ain't nothing but what is it called? Animal Crossing in Disney.
That's really what it is.
Speaking of which, the Lion King update in 3 days. Anyway,
look at that.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, Gotham Knights is a game we've talked about a couple times. We plan to play it together. Funny enough, we had just heard that it was only 2-player co-op, and now we're learning they will be launching a free 4-player co-op experience that's a separate game mode a month after launch.
So the story of this game, Gina, is that Bruce dies, and he leaves a note for all our video note for all of them saying, "You've got to watch the city now," and it's Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and
Red Hood.
That's the 4 characters in the story.
Not bad.
Jason, Tim, and
yeah. So that was the big thing of like DC was finally giving us something else from Arkham, but it wasn't going to be a 4-player. And the crazier thing is, it's not going to be on the past gens. It's only on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but the graphics on it are actually the older graphics, not the newer graphics. So, for
whatever reason,
only doing 30 FPS.
30 FPS on consoles, and I don't really get it.
Yeah, none of us get it. It's a weird tech move. It doesn't make any sense. I get processing wise, it's smoother, but like, it's not going to look as nice. So.
Oh, of course, I can't find the actual tweets that were apparently from a Discord. I assume that Gotham Knights has like a Discord.
They do.
And in the community, people were talking in there. That's where this comes from. And they said that because of the untethered co-op, which is like where you can play with a friend and they could be completely across the map from you. And like, y'all don't even, you could be playing co-op and not play together, apparently, I guess. Something to do with that, but it's just kind of like a lot of people where they're a little sore right now is, what's the point in a $70 game if I'm going to be locked to the old console graphics and everything? So some people are a little upset. They're like, I paid $70 just to play a game that I could have played on the older console.
I think the other thing about that is with the whole console thing, PlayStation and Xbox, like with Microsoft and Sony, like they're very adamant about if you're releasing a video game, like they want to stop releasing PS4 games. So that way, one, they can make more profit because people are going to have to buy PS5s, and they can make more profit because it's $10 more per game. So I think on top of that, it's just like maybe this game would have been better for PS4 and Xbox One. And we don't know the behind the scenes, but it may be possible that Sony and Microsoft were just like, no, you can't have it on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, God of War is still coming out on PlayStation 4.
I feel like they can do whatever they want with that one.
Yeah, seriously.
Because they know it's a moneymaker and they're like,
well, true.
Yeah, they can make it look like Minecraft and it still will make all the money. It won't make a difference.
I don't know about all that.
Well, moving into Gina's favorite thing. Well, let's talk some Marvel, everybody. So I know. Big fan. So I don't know if anybody watched Werewolf by Night. Huge success. Marvel's doing these new specials now where it's almost like a 45-minute to an hour project. And it looks like the rumor is that might be the future. They might take it, and rather than doing movie, show, they might do the specials as intros, movies as collabs, and the shows as other tellings of stories. So right now, two of the rumors are that there is a special for Nova coming out, possibly, which would be dope. I think that's a really good way to introduce without overcrowding. And then the other rumor right now is apparently an Ironheart. We're going to get Mephisto.
Ironheart? Whoa. That's where they're thinking. I missed this rumor. Y'all were talking about it before we started, but I was like, oh, Mephisto rumor.
And
okay.
Apparently
we've been saying that since No Way Home.
Well, apparently the funnier part is, guess who they're saying is going to play Mephisto?
Is it Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yes, ma'am. That is it.
I saw that.
Wowie wow himself.
You're the castle.
Wow.
Booyakasha.
Interesting.
I think he'd be great as Mephisto, honestly, which is funnier because his wife plays Lois in.
No,
Superman.
that's not her.
What's it? Who's his wife? I always mix them up.
She looks exactly like.
That's right.
Yeah, Isla Fisher. Yeah, she's in Wedding Crashers. She's like.
Yes, that's right. That's what I meant. Yep.
Yeah.
What do we think about if this is the forward motion of Marvel doing introduction of characters rather than full length movies, doing these specials? And are we ever going to get Mephisto?
First of all, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
I think that the whole special thing is just going to be more of like holidays and like kind of side things like that. Because we do have, even though they haven't talked about it at all, I'm guessing we're either going to get, hey, it's delayed till next year, or they're going to start promoting it once Halloween is over. But Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special is supposed to come out this year, like in December. So I think that'll clearly be the next one, because it's not going to be like a full-on installment, but at the same time, it'll be quote unquote canon within the MCU. And we have to assume that, you know, the Werewolf by Night is canon in the MCU, because he's both Jack and Ted are going to be in the multiversal expansion in Disneyland for Avengers Campus, in that ride where pretty much every hero from all across the multiverse is in. So yeah, I think this is more, in the way that I see it, I think they're just going to keep doing more holiday specials, and it would be interesting to see like what holiday Nova would go with.
Maybe New Year's.
And I honestly, like, it really could be anything, because I'm sure they're going to take it from a point of like the already established Nova Corps, and then we get like the main character of Nova, whoever they're going to choose out of the several Novas that have been. But I don't know. I do think that this is more going to be like a holiday, and maybe like, I think if they could rewind time, they would probably make Groot. I Am Groot. I think they would make that a special, kind of just like the things that are like, if you don't want to watch this, you don't have to. It's not going to be a big thing in the story. We'll introduce them in another way or something like that later on down the road.
That makes sense. I think the special was nice. I think it was cool the way they did it. Because if they made that a movie, I think it would have just dragged. I think there would have been some really low points into the movie, and it wouldn't have really done as well. Gene, did you watch Werewolf by Night yet or no?
Not yet, but I did only hear good things. So
yeah, it is. It's pretty fantastic. Good. It is pretty good. And Ted, by the way, is Man-Thing. It's like the Swamp Thing of Marvel, basically.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Then we have.
I saw this tweet though, kind of going to what you were saying, Adam. Yeah. I don't know if it's like any confirmed thing. It's just what people, because of how well Werewolf by Night did, people are hoping. I don't know why he said are gonna be the future of the MCU, because I think it's more like this special was really good. This should be the future of the MCU, because like when you think about how at this point like Spider-Man No Way Home was technically still a team-up movie because Doctor Strange was heavy in it, and then you had the Marvels is going to be Captain Marvel as well as Monica Rambeau as well as Miss Marvel. So,
I mean, if you think about it, all three of the
We'll see.
Spider-Man movies were a team-up movie because they always had Tony in them, except for the last one.
I mean, yeah. All the MCU movies have just gotten to that point now. I mean, Thor Ragnarok, right? Like it was Thor and Hulk. Speaking of which, we'll get into that later on in the show. But yeah, just thought I saw that tweet and kind of going through all my tweets that I like retweeted and found about everything we're talking about this week.
Well, I know, speaking of rumors, I know Gina can talk about this. Do you know someone named Tom Ellis?
Yeah, Lucifer himself.
Lucifer, do you know that it is rumored that he now is going to play Reed Richards for the Fantastic Four?
That would be a good choice, actually. I think, yeah, I could see that.
I think either way it makes. I personally just say give it to Jennings and move on, let it happen. It will be okay. But I think it's a good choice. I like the actor from You. I like this, but both very much similar look and build. So it's not like it's reinventing the wheel.
Only reason I need Penn Badgley to do something else other than You is because I need to stop being like, damn, I love Penn Badgley, and everybody is like, oh, what you be watching him in? Oh, it's a show about this like guy who's pretty much a serial killer, and he's also just a weirdo, a stalker. But you know,
he's good. I think he has the range. Like, I think he's the leading person, like rumor wise. As far as I've heard. I think Jodie Comer as Sue Storm. I feel like
that'd be good.
A lock. I think it should be her, but. Everyone else.
I actually saw a rumor about what's her name from Supergirl, Melissa.
Oh, Melissa Benoist, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like they might just go with unknowns.
I mean, it's what they're good at, right?
Yeah.
Doing some new people is not a bad idea. Because they've been killing that. I mean, Iman Vellani, right? You know, she was someone who's just a super fan of Ms. Marvel, and she ended up with the role, and having someone who is a fan of the source material has proven to be pretty good. So I wouldn't mind it. And, you know, they're also always getting big names. This one we actually didn't put on docket, but just real quick before we go to the next rumor is I did see that apparently Mahershala Ali is still good with Blade, at least from what they're saying right now, is like he's still on board. Mm-hmm. He's still on board
I think
now.
He leaves. I think he leaves.
You
I think
just
Mahershala
want chaos.
Nah, he's not leaving. He's not leaving. That's a big role to just.
I understand.
I'm sorry. It's 2-time Oscars don't give a shit about what's a good grab.
You know what 2-time Oscars do care about though?
What?
Benjamins.
Yeah, I agree.
And Marvel
and he can make Disney, a lot of Benjamins not sitting around waiting for it.
They're not going to be those people that are like, yeah, sorry, we lost Mahershala. Here's B-list actor. Like they're gonna give you A-list.
You just want to be on the Mahershala leaves campaign because you're
I don't. I think he'd be great as Blade.
We've only heard his voice, so he could just leave.
I'm just saying, look, if there's a fire saying he's not happy and he's thinking about leaving, there's a little smoke to that somehow, right?
Yeah, and here we are 2 weeks later saying he's still fully on board despite the delays, and you just being like, I think he leaves.
They announced this in 2019. It's about to be how many years now? I'm just saying.
That's how it is now. It just takes.
You know what? They announced Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2 when I was in college in 2015. So you know what? It took a while before that came out too, Adam.
But that needed other projects.
When I was in middle school.
they actually were talking about Black Adam when I was in middle school.
Literally.
Literally. Well, speaking of other rumors, let's get done with these two. Spider-Man so far kind of has a soft release, July 12th, 2024.
Like, really though? Because wasn't Jacob Batalon just talking about we all doing our own thing right now, and people on the internet was cooking him, bro.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
I was cooking him too. He said that, and then immediately there was rumors of Spider-Man 4 coming out soon, and I was like, better go grab that check and get to work, I guess.
Yeah, right. Like
that's not even possible.
If they start filming next year,
now,
no, they'd film next year,
and it would come out within a few months. Like no. These
Not
things are
within
like
a
a
few
3 to 4 year.
Yeah, you
like,
just put the CGI workers in a room, turn off the AC,
How'd
and you
that
tell
work
them,
out
hey,
for
you work
No Way
now,
Home?
and we'll tell you when you're done.
Look, I understand you don't get this being a DC fan because there's such gaps in between projects and all this time to make sure the CG is good.
Honestly, I want more gaps in projects.
I do too.
We can
honestly,
get into that in a minute.
Yeah. No, I just think unless like the script is written and they like are starting next month, that's a crazy.
I bet you the script's written.
That's why I think this is just a rumor, because like I feel like there's so much pressure after this last movie to make this next one even remotely good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, this is kind of just a side thing. Are they going to keep the whole home in the title thing? Like,
I don't think so. I think this is past
they
that.
move away from it. I hope they're done.
I think they move away from it. And the other one is Harrison Ford is in the MCU. Mr. Solo is going to be the Red Hulk. Technically.
Is that not just confirmed?
I did not see an actual confirmed. I have not seen one thing confirmed. Oh, well then, yeah. Hey, it's confirmed then.
Oh.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I would say 99%.
Okay.
But have y'all seen all the memes?
Yeah.
Harrison, where do you think the multiverse saga is going? And it's like, I don't care.
My thought is,
I cannot wait.
Can you just imagine that conversation? Because like Michael Keaton could not understand the whole Flash thing. Can you imagine talking to Harrison Ford about a multiverse? Like Harrison's just like,
just tell me what boulder. Bother trying. He's
like, just tell me what boulder I don't have to that I got to run away from, and do I get a whip?
Well, that's the nice thing with them casting him as General Ross is he's probably not going to go on any press like tours or anything like that. So
not at all.
Thankfully, he won't be like, I don't give a shit. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's look, good grab though. Keeping the family, right? Keeping the Disney family.
Harrison Ford answering nothing about Marvel and Avengers rated questions in this Indiana Jones press tour.
Who approved this script? Get him on the phone. I'm not saying a shit.
There you go. That's it.
It does raise the question of with General Ross kind of like being in and out of the MCU for so long. Why did they feel the need to bring him back if not for Red Hulk or just we're gonna name the Thunderbolts after you, General Ross?
Yeah. Someone tweeted and they were like, I'm convinced they gonna make this man president. Like when he comes back, he's gonna be president of the United States in the MCU.
But ain't that such, like they were like,
kill all mutants.
But like how funny is that, right? Like it's like, well, he wasn't famous enough, but Harrison Ford though, president. We could do this. I think he's done this before on a plane. So now let's talk about what we all want to talk about. The finale of She-Hulk.
First of all,
yes.
before you get into anything.
I'm not. I talked about it last night. This is all you guys.
Get your pause, god damn it. Sorry. favorite opening ever. The side by side of the 70s Incredible Hulk show and this show. Absolutely amazing.
It was good.
I don't know about y'all. How many of y'all like? I didn't, of course, like watch it beginning to end, but anytime it would come on, was it in black and white too? But me and my dad would have this on all the time, and I think it would like randomly, recurringly come up on FX. So I would just be like, when I was home from school or something. It was super dope to see that opening callback. I'm gonna let other people go. I've already said to y'all, I'm in the vocal minority of I loved the show. Finale, okay.
Okay.
How many people went to grab their remote though during that one moment?
I didn't. I was just like, this is.
I was confused.
I was just like, this has to be something, right?
Gina, what do you think?
Oh, damn. You just put her you were like, oh, wait, hold on. Gina, tell us what you think now.
I mean, it felt like I knew it was the show, but I was like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't know where it was going, but I thought it was the show for sure. It was.
What did you think about the show overall?
Oof. I should probably have thought about that before I came here.
We want just right on the spot. Boom.
It was a drag. for a while, and then I think it redeemed itself towards the end. So like a 6.5 out of 10.
All right.
Generous rating.
All right, Mr. VonSchweetz. What about you? Because I know you love you some She-Hulk now.
Other than my infatuation with the physicality of Tatiana Maslany and the CGI version of herself, I think the storyline was just solid. I think, as I said to you guys prior to starting the podcast, I think it was a little bit of a cop-out to kind of just make an entire show and then on the final episode be like, fuck all the storyline. This should be about me. And like kind of just make everything that they did like null. It did feel like a little bit of a cop-out, but at the same time, it was strong in the way that the entire show she's been struggling to find like her footing, find out like how she belongs, where she belongs, and what kind of like priority She-Hulk has in her life. And then toward like at the end in the finale, she finds out and she not only like is solidified with herself, but she starts telling other people like Kevin, like, this is how it's going to be, and I'm not settling for less. Like that for me was like a huge character growth that you can see over the show. But as I said, it did feel like a little bit of a cop-out just with changing it. But I keep it at like 9 out of 10. I really did not.
I mean, serious. What was her like? Like I remember the first episode, which I actually liked, and what was her growth? Because I felt like that when she was with Bruce, she was pretty like independent. I like my job, like career focused. I know that she went through some insecurity as she was navigating being She-Hulk, but I felt like she ended almost exactly. I mean, I just watched it and I was like, what was her overall arc? I feel like
her overall arc was just her finding like this confidence with her new superhuman abilities and also not having to do the same thing that everyone's always done with superhuman abilities of just like, I have to join the Avengers now, or I need to become a vigilante.
Or if you look at like the law practice, like take the superhero out of it, she was always underneath people and was doing what they told her to do, or like trying to always outshine everybody so she could actually finally get a footing in the door. And she learned while actually, defending Abomination and somewhat defending herself and all that stuff, and kind of defending everything going on around her, like who she was as a lawyer, who she was as a person, and who she was as a superhero.
She's unemployed by the end of it, though, right? Like, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know who she was working for when she decided to go to court at the very end, but my thing is, because I feel Jacob on the cop out, I felt Moon Knighted, where it was like, I get what they were doing, because like in the Moon Knight, the point is it was Jake Lockley who saved the day, and they wasn't going to show him yet. But for it to have this whole arc and this whole like intelligentsia is like, I mean, if you take away the whole blood thing, what was Todd doing? Like, what was the point of intelligentsia? Like, was it literally just to show her sex tape? Because it's like, okay.
Well, that I understood. It was kind of poking fun at like the whatever trolls, men trolls online who like.
That was my favorite thing about the entire show.
Huh?
That was my favorite thing about the entire show. The show knew what it was, and the show knew exactly what it was going to go after. And it was these fan dudes or bros who sit there and just sexualize over female characters and stuff like that, and like they have no arc or they have no story, or like, oh, it'd be all right if it wasn't a girl. Like,
yeah, I love that whole like she didn't earn her powers. I've literally watched videos where that's the whole argument, and I'm like,
that man literally was like, I had to earn these. I was like, you stole them, but okay. And like again, for me, it was just like, if we just wrote out the whole storyline, why is the dude going to jail in the end? Because then what was he doing? Like, he was just, which also that man was really eerily obsessed with her as a specimen the entire time. It was just weird. I wanted to punch him in the face. But yeah, She-Hulk for me. I mean, if I had to score it, like 7, 6, 7. I liked the show overall, and then the finale, I was just like, okay, it's over. Like, season 2. Now, the fourth wall break was amazing. That had me dying laughing. What's it called? Kevin was hilarious. He even had the hat. Her mentioning the X-Men. First time we've heard X-Men in the MCU specifically, but you also have to take fourth wall break characters with a
and her talking
salt.
about, can we get some more Daredevil?
Speaking of more Daredevil, though, did you guys know that they were reunited on screen with this finale?
Yes.
I had no clue that this man was in the 70s show at all. I knew Thor showed up, but I did not know that Matt Murdock was in that show. So that was a dope thing. And then, of course, the reveal of Hulk's son and the reveal of his awful ass haircut.
Yo, you leave little LeBron alone, okay?
Listen, everybody keeps hating on this, but like,
I don't hate it.
I don't think it's I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's like, I think most of the people complaining don't know the origin of Scar.
Thank you.
And
what that got to do with them having this haircut, though?
Like, Jordan, you hate his haircut, right?
As a black man with a very good line.
Hey.
Absolutely.
What's his origin story, though, Jordan?
So Scar's origin story is that Hulk, while sent to space, eventually got married, had a whole wife and everything. Then the planet gets attacked and whatnot. Bomb, I can't remember if it was bomb or spaceship, whatever. Wife dies. Hulk thinks that it's Earth that does it, leaves, doesn't know that wife had a bun in the oven, but the bun was an egg apparently. And out hatches Scar, and then he hates his dad because he's like, why did you leave to go get metaphorical milk?
So do you blame this kid for having a shit haircut when he has no parents?
I blame whoever replaced Stan Lee as the barber on Sakaar. Because it's not Stan Lee.
I just want to say before we
continue.
Wrap up the whole She-Hulk discourse, I think like out of all of them, even if you just pick up one comic for each of the projects that they've made in Phase 4, out of all of them, I think She-Hulk is one of the top 5 closest to the comics.
It's very accurate.
Like it's very accurate, and I think
she's very all over the place, you know.
Yeah. And I think that like it's so weird seeing like whenever the shows and movies are accurate to the comic books, it's funny seeing like, oh, of course, like people are going to rank Spider-Man over She-Hulk because Spider-Man is more popular than She-Hulk. It's always been, unfortunately. Like I think She-Hulk sometimes has better comics than Peter does, but I think that that's just like kind of just part of it is the art of storytelling. Part of it is that comic book fans have predominantly been male. But like you also have like this, even if the story is better than the original Spider-Man story over here, She-Hulk really is going to struggle to get to the top because there's always going to be people who are haters. And it's just like this, it's, I don't know, like it's hard because it's kind of going back to that whole Captain Marvel discussion of just like, do you hate it because you're a misogynist or do you hate it because you actually just didn't like it? And there's no way to really tell because everyone's going to say, I'm not a misogynist. But like at the same time, there definitely are people out there who, if you boil it down to it, they're like, yeah, I don't like the fact that this hero like is a woman. And it's stupid.
It's like when you ask them like, what's your bottom 5 MCU projects? And instantly
you hear Black Widow and Captain Marvel.
They're like Captain Marvel, Black Widow, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and something, you know what I mean? It's just like, boy, that's a trend.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm objective in saying I thought it failed a little bit on a storytelling level. Like I was entertained. I just felt like there were so many missed opportunities. Like I knew what they were going for, but I feel like it didn't always hit the mark. Like, you know, so, but I thought it was a good, you know, anyone who like passionately hates this is out of their mind. It's not bad enough to hate it. You know, if anything, I'm like, okay, I wish it were better. If, you know, like because there were a lot of moments that actually were really compelling. I thought like when she hulked out, when her private stuff was on there, you know, she I thought that was a really
deserved.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like that was a horrible moment. Like that's every woman's nightmare, like having their dating profile and like their sex tape on there. And like I thought like her rage was justified, but it was also, you know, like she can't lose control. And a lot of the storylines actually, as a woman, resonated. So I thought, you know, I personally enjoyed a lot of it. I just thought it wasn't cohesive sometimes. Like that was like my only complaint, but that, you know,
I feel like the storyline was a little choppy in some parts, but I feel like for the majority of the time, there were just characters where I was like, why were they there?
So, like the question you asked on Twitter.
Yeah, and I asked that on Twitter with I don't remember her first name, but
is that her name?
Brooks. The other
lawyer
that was not.
Oh yeah, the black lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just like, why is this character in here? And someone in my comments was like, oh, she's supposed to be the antithesis to like Jen as a lawyer, and like, you know, even though she's not a super, like she still struggles as a woman.
She kind of accepts her place almost.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, I can get that, but I feel like that should have been an actual storyline instead of just she's a character that exists, and if you think about it, she's the antithesis. It's like it should be clear. Like it shouldn't be something that I have to like. Why are you here?
Is her name not Titania?
No.
Titania was just a protagonist.
Oh no, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, what was her thing? I don't know.
Well, I think that was mainly just because like Titania is just such a big She-Hulk villain in the comics.
Yeah,
and like
that went nowhere. Am I crazy? She was in the end, like
Mallory Brooks. That was her name.
I mean, technically, if you watch the entire show, all of it goes nowhere, anyways.
Well, yeah.
If you kind of look at it, like, all of it goes nowhere.
That's where we sit with the Disney Plus shows. Yeah. They can't do anything because you're like, my mom and dad are going to go see those movies in theaters. Yeah. Are they going to sit down and watch the entire 18 episodes of Daredevil and all of the Netflix shows? No. So they can't build on the MCU in even medium ways instead of big ways. They can't even build it on small ways.
That's why I think
then you're going to have people missing out. So there were still people with Doctor Strange that went into theaters and were like, wait, Wanda had kids? What? Like,
well, that's why I think these specials will be great because it'll be 45 minutes, quick thing, boom, little add-ins. I think that'll be good. Can we all agree though? The best part of She-Hulk was the Daredevil walk of shame.
100%.
That was good, yeah.
Honestly,
I actually brought it up last night.
Can we call it shame? Because he was happy, man. You saw he had a pep in his step. He was.
Hey, I just want to say I'm calling it. I would love a post-credit in Daredevil. And it's just the same screen, right? The Marvel Disney Plus like logoing and icons and everything. And then you see the Daredevil icon right there, and it opens, and it's Jen carrying her clothes out, going back into She-Hulk as a post credit. I think that'd be fantastic.
Good work.
I think that'd be great.
I just realized that they really should work in. And I might make a video about this, but they should work in some kind of like he sees something like, I don't know, green.
Sir,
and he's just like,
you're not allowed to do any more videos. You said that the videos you're doing right now are punching your dad for $100,000. Just saying.
First of all, I called my father. There's a whole thing going on about like, would you punch your dad for $100,000? And people are saying no. And then he's like, what about $500,000? And people still said no. I made that video and immediately called my dad after. And I was like, I didn't ask your permission because I already know the answer to this, but I just want to confirm. Someone offers me $100,000 and I got to punch you in the face. He said, you better knock me out.
I told Jerry, I'm cold cocking my dad. Done deal.
He was like, you better knock me out. He was like, I wish you would. Anyway,
no, would I want free.
If you consented, I'd do it.
But, I'm not asking.
No, I wouldn't ask either. I would just give him his cut afterward. I'd be like, hey, wait. Before you hit me back, here go your 10%. But what's it called? I completely forgot what I was. Oh, I want Daredevil to see something green and be like, I should call her.
Jesus. All right. Let's move on to something that Gina actually can talk about.
Oh,
Black Adam reviews.
Why you keep trying to play her?
She doesn't look.
Nobody's gonna want to be a guest on the show again. Adam's just like,
first off,
I can take it.
One Trick Pony, DC only, or Smallville. That's it.
Let's make it Smallville. I love how you put, even though Smallville is DC, you put it in its own category because, like, she can tell you about Smallville for real.
She can,
in general, okay.
Can verbatim, Jacob, give you every episode from 1 to the finale right now. Just quote all of it.
Probably, yeah. At this point, yeah. It's bad.
Many people would call that a mental illness.
Jacob, there's another word for it. It's called depression. So you should have seen her at the Smallville reunion. I saw her after she got the photo.
Anyway, DC, the Black Adam.
Black Adam reviews. We had the red carpet, actually, technically, the day after Con, basically, in Times Square. And then they had another one in Miami. Reviews are coming out really, really good. And it's pretty much confirmed. Everyone knows what's happening at the end, which I think is the dumbest thing ever. This is what I'm hating now about movies, is like the one thing that's making like this big thing in the movie. They're giving away all the time, and they need to stop.
Mm-hmm. But actually, I think in this case it might be good because this is exclusively what's going to draw like 10% of its box office, like just to see Cavill, and I kind of respect it. Like, yeah, they're pulling like a No Way Home light type situation, and
yeah,
I mean this movie needs to succeed. It's like actually really important that it does well. So I don't even.
I'm just confused. Maybe you can answer this for me. So DC gets bought, or Warner Brothers gets bought by Discovery, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, we're gonna fix things. We're gonna make DC respectable. We're gonna do completely different stuff. The stuff with Ezra happens. Flash is like, hey, we're gonna put this out, but we're not working with Ezra anymore. Now we've got Black Adam coming in, bringing us Henry again, which is still Snyder stuff that they said they're not going to do. And we have Ezra on the Warner Brothers lot doing reshoots, which is them working with him. We still have a Wonder Woman 3, a Aquaman 2, but yet we're supposed to be doing new things. What are they doing?
I mean, nobody knows. They want to make money. That's it. They don't care. I mean, listen, I don't know who said they were doing new things. I mean,
they did.
Well, not this new guy, Zaslav, whatever.
Zaslav or whatever the hell his name is.
He is only about money. So The Rock, he sees The Rock. He sees. He doesn't know anything about DC. He basically came in.
All I see is dollar signs.
So, everyone always talks about Henry Cavill. Pay the man. Get him in there for 10 seconds. I want people to buy this. The Rock is the new head of the DCEU. People still like Batfleck. Let's put him in there. Batgirl, that's not going to make us any money. Can it? I don't care how much.
I think that would be a blockbuster movie.
He didn't. He saw it and he didn't think it would be.
What do you think?
I thought it would have been great. I mean, I
Brendan Fraser's comeback, man.
I know. I think they kind of fumbled the bag on that a little bit. Like,
I love how Leslie's putting footage out, though.
Yeah, that is fun. Mm-hmm. Little FU there. But yeah, so it's not really, I mean, yeah, we're going to get Ezra as the Flash. Batfleck is still going to make some cameos. Aquaman is still in the cut. Wonder Woman, so honestly, nothing has really changed if you think about it.
I mean, we get Blue Beetle next year. That'd be something new.
I think the only thing is that, and I think, Adam, you've alluded to this before, Black Adam is seeming like they're kind of basically Black Adam is the start of like from here to Black Adam, like forget everything from before, even though we're bringing back Henry Cavill. Like it happened, but fuck all that shit from back then. Black Adam and on, this is the plan.
After, like the Flash is going to be the reset. So we're going to get all these movies before the reset. So it's like DCEU light, like you're still going to get a little bit of everything. And then the Flash will happen. And then maybe you could consider that the official reset. Like, but for now, up until what is that, June?
They're like, hey, we wrote some really bad shit, but we cast it fantastically. We're just going to redo it.
I don't think it's going to be a hard reset because even with the Flash, because does the Flash even have a release date at this point?
Yeah, June 2023 or 4.
July 2025.
Oh, wait, is it really?
Kidding. Oh, no, I'm just saying.
I was like, they move it again.
Back.
But with that, like you have The Rock in current interviews saying like, I want like Shazam.
June 23rd, 2023.
I want Shazam to eventually fight Black Adam, but we need to let Shazam have his own time. But then you're going to reboot everything with the same actors, but Shazam has already had his own time, but now he doesn't have his own time because that's probably going to be the next film you make.
Well, I think Shazam is safe.
Shazam has a Shazam too, so I think
but he's still going to be part of the universe.
I think they just need to make it so clear in the Flash everything
where we are
now. Everything is new. Or there needs to be the problem with that I'm seeing with DC is that you don't have one person who everyone, like with Kevin Feige. And I'm saying this just because like it's okay.
Even though you hate people saying this.
You don't have to have a Kevin Feige, but when you don't, there's not one person that everyone's like their word is law. So with Zack Snyder, as much as I hate the whole Snyderverse, at least at a certain point before it became bots on the internet and toxic white people, it was a point where there was Zack Snyder's like word is law, and like anything that goes like he says online, it's got to be right as far as DC goes. And then it slowly turned into a warped version of that. Now you have The Rock says one thing, Ben Affleck says I'm not going to be in it, Henry Cavill says I'm coming back, and so you're getting all these differing things of just like, what's gonna like, how is this moving forward?
I think it's weirdly, I kind of think it's nothing has actually changed. Like I think we're complicating it because we're expecting it to change, but weirdly enough, everything is as it always was. Like literally up until their last project, The Flash, we kind of know everyone who's in it and everything that's happening. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, there's no new characters, there's no recasting. So like, if anything, it's pretty consistent. It's just maybe like we're thinking ahead, very far ahead. For now, it's kind of all weirdly, it's all in line with what we know. So
do you think that's somewhat of a problem?
No, because I think the Flash is the perfect ending point or part where they can. I think the Flash multiverse is like literally the most perfect excuse to literally start over. So like until we can just wait until then, and once that comes out, and maybe they'll mess it up. We don't know what they'll do, but I think if we just everything we know up until now is fine. Like nothing. There's no big reshuffling. Like Henry Cavill's still Superman. We're gonna see Batfleck. Like technically everything is as it should be. And then we'll see what they do with the Flash. And then after that, we can be like, what the hell's going on? But
and I know I give you a lot of shit about DC, but you are a diehard DC fan.
Yes.
How do you feel about like what's going on with DC? Are you frustrated or is it just these Marvel fans and they need to shut the hell up?
Oh, no. Well, I like discourse from Marvel because I talk about Marvel. So, I complain about Marvel. So anyone can complain about DC. But I just
like all of them.
Oh yeah, first of all, I'm a fan of both, but obviously I lean a little heavier towards one. But I don't know. I mean, I like the Snyderverse. I'm one of those. I'm sorry. I don't like anything surrounding it.
The Snyderverse.
I watched.
Gina was paid. She was one of the bots.
Oh my God, no. No, I don't ride hard like almost everyone else, but I'm like, yeah, I watch the movies and I like them. Like, whatever.
Do you think there's a time that it gets fixed and it's like not Marvel, but like smooth like Marvel?
After the Flash, maybe, because then again, they can recast the Flash. They can get a new Batman. They can continue with Cavill if that's what they want to do. Yeah, I think.
So that's my thing. Is I'm kind of with Gina where I think that very similarly, which this is like what their idea has been for a minute. It's just a matter of we've been waiting on them. Sorry, my cat decided to make a cameo move. Yeah. But they have this vision of how to use Flashpoint, and I agree. Flash can do all that time travel, whatever, and still come back to the exact moment wherever the character left in the DCEU. And when we're back, it's just like, yeah, Superman's still here, and it's still Henry Cavill, but also this, and Batfleck's like there, but maybe there's someone else, and then all that different stuff. And so the other thing I will say, you mentioned being as smooth as Marvel. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson done already said we ain't trying to be Marvel.
We're going to take any kind of bite out of Marvel. That answer is unequivocally no.
No.
Because to me, as we build out the DC universe, this new era, ushering in a new era of the DC universe, that to me is not my lead foot. It's not our goal to take a bite out of Marvel. What they've done is incredible. What Kevin Feige has done is incredible. And by the way, and I love those guys. They're all my friends. And they are largely responsible for the economic drive of our business for almost 2 decades. So
He take a long time to say all
we
this.
don't want to be Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought this was a much shorter clip.
And how we do things. So
It's got a number on it when you put your cursor over it.
I want to grab a new apple.
The man said he want to
This
grab a
kind of
new
like
apple.
goes back to what I was saying though, with like The Rock is an actor, right? Is he a producer of all DC films moving forward?
He's the face of DC now. That's his thing. He's like the Robert Downey.
But he doesn't want to be. He
Continue to
says.
be in all the DC films, or
No,
is
he's like
he-
Robert Downey Jr. basically of the DCU. Like, just he's the guy. He's the guy.
I know, but I wouldn't take Robert Downey Jr.'s word for anything about the MCU and where it's going.
Yeah,
the hierarchy of power is changing, Jacob.
I just like that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as like, you don't need a Kevin Feige, but you need someone who has an idea of what's going on, because there's no like, I can't trust what The Rock says because he's an actor and he's a producer of his movie.
I can. You know why? I can trust him. You know why? He does exactly what this new guy wants. And Gina, what does the new guy want?
Money. Hello.
And what does Dwayne do?
He brings in money.
Right. So is Dwayne going to be in every movie from now on?
It could be cameos, probably.
Okay. If he is, then I'm sure they'll be getting their money. But if he's not,
well,
I think
he's
you see more
promoting his
mashups.
movie right now. Like I said,
He
there's
said
a lot
he
of
listens to the fans.
yeah, a lot is
Dwayne
hanging on
listens
this
to the
movie
fans, okay.
succeeding. Like, this movie needs to bring in money, like otherwise, things are looking bad. So he's just, first of all, he probably doesn't even know what the hell's going on. He's just getting fanboys excited. Yeah, he's a showman, and that's what they need.
Let's make it clear. Dwayne is never part of a project that he doesn't know what's going on.
No, yeah. And I mean, he is passionate about Black Adam. Like, he actually knows his stuff. When
Pushing
it
this
comes
shit
to
since
that.
2007.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very much like Ryan, right?
With
With
I've seen,
Deadpool.
he actually seems like he's playing a different character other than the guy in a sweaty shirt. In the jungle.
I've heard people say like, "Yo, it doesn't necessarily feel like The Rock just on screen." And
feels like we're going back to the game plan with Madison Pettis, where he actually was playing the character, and it felt like, wow, like this is refreshing. Instead, like the past 5-10 years, he's just been playing the same character in every movie, and you're like, yeah. All I wanted to say though about Black Adam is I am excited for it. I'm a little worrisome just because
I got tickets.
I'm always worrisome about films that have taken too long, just because there's always a question of why did they take too long. But with DC, I mean, obviously it's gone from house to house to house to house.
Yeah.
Things have been shelved. But with this film surviving all of the shelving and all of the procrastinating and whatever else there has been, it's got to be a solid story. It's got to be a solid movie. So I'm excited for it. I'm just a little worried about Flashpoint deliver on resetting everything.
I mean, with this movie, what impresses me are the graphics look incredible. The suits all look really good. I think the story is going to be pretty meh, if I'm being frank.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the story isn't complete. It is very holy. Graphics are good. The fight, I've heard, because I talked to people who already saw the movie, and they said it is way darker than anything they've put out, which if you think about it,
has to be,
that's interesting because you have BVS and Man of Steel. Those are both darker movies. So that was darker, and overall you want more Justice League of America because of the chemistry and everybody in it, and of course the end credit scene. I
mean, and also guys, we're getting Dr. Fate in a movie. Like, has anyone really
looking like Iron Man?
We're getting on.
And it's Pierce Brosnan. Like, what are we doing?
Fate.
That's goated casting.
That's the greatest casting.
That's probably the greatest casting we've got.
DC, whatever you want to say, casting up until this point has been pretty good. Like, I think, there's not really a dud in there. Maybe Ezra Miller.
I was to say, there's one.
But even then, he's kind of good when he's, who knows what he does behind the scenes. But anyway, I mean, also the JSA is awesome. Like, we're getting the JSA in a movie, which I think it's about time. And it's a good.
Could we get more JSA is the best part now, right?
Yeah. So now they're part of the DCEU. Who knows where that's going to go? I heard Stargirl was supposed to be in it, but blah, blah, blah stuff happened. So I don't know, like, there's more going for it than against. I can handle if it's like slightly mediocre, but if it's a fun movie and I see Superman at the end, I'm going to leave happy. And I think that's the point, like, generate some buzz, be good enough that people, because the thing with DC movies is like, it either gets canned, like people hate it and it gets such negative publicity, and then everyone says the DC sucks, and then maybe this movie is just going to be all right. It'll get people excited, and it'll build buzz for the next project. So that's a win for them, I think. So, yeah.
And the next project is Shazam, Fury of the Gods, right?
Yeah.
And when does that come out?
They push
that is February,
March.
if I want to. February, March.
That's
Hold on,
not
I got you.
I think my main issue with DC EU films overall is
March
just
17,
you get like this
March
really
17.
high, like with Aquaman and Shazam and the first Wonder Woman. Those I love those movies. Those movies are peak
100%.
DC in my opinion. But then afterward, you have this long period, which is the complete opposite of the problem that Marvel's facing. Is Marvel's facing a period of you're putting too much stuff out and it's not quality. Like that's where you're lacking. DC, it's like you put out really good quality, and then it's a long time, and then it's another good quality, but it's been like 5 years. And then it's another good quality, but it's been like 5 years. And you're sitting here wondering, like, where's the connectivity as far as what has Superman, if Superman's showing up in this one, we're all assuming he is because of everything online. But what has Superman been doing since either the first Justice League or Zack Snyder's Justice League? Either way, they both take place a while ago, even though Zack Snyder's just came out. Like, are we going to get anything about that, or is it just like Superman shows up, everything's cool?
I think it's be typical DC. I think it's be typical
that's
DC.
The difference between DC and Marvel fans. I really don't care about the like. I love like a Joker movie where I don't even know if that's in the 70s or 80s. Like I like just stuff. Like give me stuff, make it good. I know that most audiences, I guess, want it all connected. Like I get, like we're gonna get Harley Quinn Joker movie with a different Harley Quinn.
I think part of the problem with the connected thing is like not necessarily everything doesn't have to be connected because Shazam, technically we've seen no mention of anything in broader DCEU, but the problem is that they tried to connect all the movie. Did it?
They had
Superman in it.
Well, they had a Superman cameo at the end, remember?
Yeah.
A headless one. Yeah,
oh, okay. Yeah, it was headless. Well, that's my thing then is like, even if like DC fans don't necessarily care about connectivity, the studios have been, we're connecting all these projects, but we're not going to make sense on how they're connecting. Like if they had just been like, we got Shazam over here, we got Aquaman over here, Wonder Woman's over there. But the problem is they were like Batman versus Superman. All right, Justice League, like immediately afterward. And now we're just kind of like, okay, well,
so in Shazam, Wonder Woman's going to be in it. And Wonder Woman's going to make a cameo, I think, in Aquaman, and then Batman's it. So it is.
Isn't Aquaman and Wonder Woman in this because it deals with mythological gods?
I don't think. I mean, I'm sure they'll mention him or just keep it to the Superman cameo. I mean, the JSA is really the big cameo part of this, I'm assuming. But like, I think it is all weirdly connected. It's just not as like satisfying, maybe, but logistically, it is all connected. Technically, yeah.
I've just been a hater on Warner Brothers ever since they did the whole.
I don't want to defend it because it's very sloppily done. Like I acknowledge that, but on a technical level, it is the same universe.
I feel like Gina's sitting here right now with like a shield. She's like, "No, it's good.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying.
I feel like I've been like a really like
no.
The DC hater. No, just kidding.
It's not. It's not good. I am acknowledging, but it is connected. I have to say.
Yeah,
that's what it stands for, right? DC stands for disconnected, connected. Like that's what it is, right?
I like the majority of the movies that DC has put out within the past 10 years. Like, agreed. I think my only disappointment with DC truly was Wonder Woman 2. And
100%. 100%.
We don't have to talk about it. I just want to say, like, I think that was really my only disappointment. I liked Batman versus Superman when I saw it in the theaters. When I watched the Ultimate Edition, I was like, holy shit, this is so much better.
Yeah, so much better.
Why wouldn't you put this in theaters? Like, I think DC films are fine, and I don't think they need the interconnectivity that Marvel does. But with what Marvel had done, I think it was a good precedent, at least with phase 1 of just Iron Man stands alone, Captain America stands alone, Thor stands alone. They have a tiny bit of maybe they will connect one day, and that was pretty much it. But with these, I feel like it was Superman or Man of Steel, then you have Batman versus Superman, and then eventually Justice League with Wonder Woman and Aquaman beforehand, or was Aquaman after Justice League?
Aquaman was
after.
Well, either way, but it just felt like there was this old tweet that honestly just feels relevant, where it was like, if Warner Brothers was in charge of the MCU, and it was Iron Man, Captain America, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. And it was just like, I don't want things to feel rushed, even though making a movie like the Justice League can give you a big payout. I feel like it's so much more worth it. It's kind of like a first kiss, and hear me out. You want that to be like earned, right?
Let's let him get on this soapbox.
Yeah, right.
You want
Like,
it to be with somebody that
I
is
can take a
special.
break.
You want it to be with somebody that's special, and like really just anything in a relationship, whether it's kissing or hugging or whatever in middle school and high school. You want that. I wish I could just. Oh, actually, I can. I don't know why.
Continue.
You can just take it. You could just take the idea of like a first kiss, or like that idea of like you're sitting in a movie theater with your first date and like your pinkies touch and then you start holding hands. Like that kind of thing is what movies can give you at like the start with Iron Man. It's just like, oh my gosh, our pinkies are touching. Oh my gosh. And then like the kissing part of it. I know you're laughing, but it does make sense.
I hear you. You and Adam with your analogies kill me.
The kissing part of it being the Justice League, that's just like the sweetest moment of like, oh my gosh, all of my life I've been waiting.
And then Wonder Woman 2 is like, oh, I forgot I'm lactose intolerant. I just ate cheese pizza.
No. Wonder Woman 2 is just like your first argument with
yes.
Or him.
Like just straight bubble gut. Like, come on, Gina,
like,
you can't tell me how you
know what I mean, though. Like the whole first kiss analogy is weird, but at the same time, like there needs to be this sense of like we've earned this moment in like the DC and Marvel movies, as different as they want to be and as different as they should be. There needs to be an idea of we earned this, and I feel like with at least Superman, I feel like his arc, and that's why people love Henry Cavill so much so far, is we really have earned his storyline thus far. Like it really has been paced correctly. With Batman and Batfleck, like they was kind of just thrown all at once, and we were like, whoa. But like there needs to be more of that, like let's take it back, let's pace it slowly, and eventually we'll get to our first kiss or our first big like holy shit moment where everybody teams up, or where you see a big villain for the first time. I just think they need to slow down.
I will say though, Wonder Woman has the greatest superhero intro.
Yes,
that fucking
1000%.
music. So it almost makes up for the fact that where the fuck did she come from? But that was one of the greatest ever.
This is two things. One, this is a yes or no question. Gina, are you a ride or die on Wonder Woman 2?
All right, guys, it's been nice.
Anyway, all right. Moving on from that. Moving on from that subject.
No, I think it's good. That's it. That's all I'll say. I'll say this. I cried twice, and I'm not ashamed.
Can you agree, though, it is a weird turn to go from?
See, I said I had two things, and this boy still just decides to keep going in about it.
Yeah, because this is such a. You go from woman empowerment and independence to I can't do anything without my boyfriend.
Oh, come on.
No, that wasn't the plot. The plot was she's heartbroken because she's lost him, and she keeps seeing.
Hear me out, though. It's the same argument I always tell everybody. If you take her out of the movie, does the movie still continue with or without her? The same. No different. She's not the hero nor the villain in this movie.
She is the hero. She saves the whole world.
What are you talking about?
He hears his son and realizes, oh, I'm horrible, and stops it himself.
No, she broadcasts her message to the world, and
so because of this, Adam thinks all the Indiana Jones movies are trash. Because
I actually think most of them are trash. Thank you.
He does.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, so Adam just has bad taste.
Okay.
So I said I had two things. This man decided to take over. Oh my god.
My only issue with Wonder Woman 2 is the fact that Pedro Pascal does his worst acting of all time, and he's such a phenomenal actor.
It is good.
It was not good acting for him. And personally, this is just a personal thing. I just don't like Kristen Wiig. I've never liked her. I just think like her acting is just, it should be saved for Bridesmaids movies. That should be it. Jordan left.
Oh my God.
I'm fucking kidding. It literally was just to deter the subject because god dang it, y'all just gonna keep going back and forth. The other thing I wanted to say a long time ago, I'm gonna say it. This is my only beef with DC. They put this shit out.
Oh God.
Yes.
That pissed me off.
2022 was the year of DC for me.
A better world.
Yeah,
I was
videos about
excited.
this.
I remember we talked about this and how excited we were, and like, yes, finally they're gonna.
We
They're
were
gonna
so
do it.
excited. So that's my beef is corporate politics. That's the only beef I have.
And then they
is
sat
that
out there.
DC,
They sat there like a small child in the outfield, picking his nose, playing baseball, like just
literally 2
no
weeks.
idea.
Can we talk about how though, like, out of the 2 clips that we've got, or there's probably been a couple more than 2, but out of the 2 main clips that we've gotten from Black Adam being released, it's just him holding like people and just like, I'm gonna drop them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I know there's other stuff in this movie, but I just think it's so funny that they're like,
Well, is there anything other than,
hovering people over the ground?
and I'm gonna see the movie, but is there anything other than my son gave his life to save mine? Because they keep putting out new trailers and they use the same voiceover for every single
Heroes
trailer.
don't kill people.
No.
I do.
Well, I do.
I got 'em.
Y'all don't hate on Dwayne, okay? Leave it be.
But yeah,
moving
I
out
just
of-
corporate politics is my only thing.
Moving out of
They
DC
delayed
now.
hey, you shut up. They delayed everything 2 weeks.
So moving out of DC now, we are
They
going
delayed
to
everything after 2 weeks of putting that out, and I'm angry about it. That's what I wanted to finish, Adam. Now you can move on,
I
sir.
really feel sorry for you because I feel like this has been the most off the rails podcast.
It really has. This is like
Hey guys,
I'm
rate
really
the show
sorry.
5 stars.
I got
Rate the show 5
Also,
stars.
I've never been
Like,
argumentative with anyone on the podcast, so I feel like I'm just having a day. And
It's okay.
so I'm sorry, but
you
thank
should
you for
join.
putting
Hey,
up.
you should, Jacob. You should go to some of Gina's lives more often. Than
Why argue? I am very
she is arguing.
holding it down here. I'm done.
Like, I feel like
what
I
was
made
it
it
saying?
sound like I hate the DC.
Now I know Gina's a sports fan, so this is finally I can talk sports with somebody. Do you watch any golf?
No.
So
No.
do you know who
Skip
John
one,
Daly
though.
is?
Adam skipped something on the doc.
No, we talked about
absolutely
it.
did.
Oh, did
we
not
didn't.
the 4 episodes for the zombies? We most certainly
We
did
didn't
talk about that. Okay, moving back to Marvel real quick.
We put this in the side section.
It's because it's
Oh,
the side
that's
section,
right.
which is completely different.
Sorry,
Side
continue.
section entered.
Ready? Go for your side section. Ready?
This was my main rant.
There's your side section.
It's not a boo. It's a sigh. Anyway, my main rant for the 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies has now been confirmed, and it will be in 2024. People are online complaining about this like crazy right now, and I think it should be said, and it should always be said, that shows and movies don't need to fit a I guess just cookie cutter of how long they need to be, or it's really just how long they need to be, because stories can be told within, I mean, you've seen Pixar shorts, stories can be told in under a minute, and Marvel Zombies, I don't think needs a full-on 8 seasons of a show.
I mean, how
On top
Pixar
of
gave
that-
us the great story within 5 minutes on up.
Yeah.
And
On
Bow.
top of that, you have What If, as much as I love it and as high as I rank it in my ranking, a lot of people didn't watch that show just because it was animated. So the reason that Marvel's only coming out with 4 episodes is, 1, they may not need that much time to tell the story, and 2, y'all didn't rank What If enough. So it's on your own fault.
Yeah.
See, Gina's like, DC can't relate to these problems. We love our animated shit.
Yeah, DC's
Damn.
animated is just beyond Marvel's in every capacity.
Can't relate. Sorry.
Oh, she's like, all our shows go on way longer than they need to be, actually.
What? Anyway.
We're gonna relinquish some controls to some people in this live stream, Gina. and it
That's
will
sad. I can't believe
it
y'all
will
going to take
be-
your own power away. Damn.
Hey, that's
so-
crazy.
And
That's
best
crazy.
superhero show of the year, I say, is
Teen
Peacemaker.
Titans Go.
Oh, Peacemaker, 100%, I think, is the best show of the year.
Peacemaker is amazing. It
I
kind of
don't-
knows what you were saying. DC been having that quality. I think it's just the problem of they will have long dips in between and too many delays. I just hate delays. You know, when Drake delays an album for like 6 months, I'm like, all right, bro, enough.
I don't listen. No,
You don't have to. He's my favorite rapper. Well,
he's your favorite rapper. That's probably.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh, no.
Hear me out.
Oh,
Hear me
no.
out. Hear me out.
There's
the
no
Take Care album was a turning point in my life.
From 10
he
years
no
ago?
longer exactly. He no longer is really that rapper. He's more of a pop artist at this point. So that's different. But I can go back and listen to a lot of his old stuff and I have an appreciation. However, he's not really in rapper category anymore. My favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. That's
Because Kendrick Lamar be having them bars. And I rhymed. I'm a
Oh,
rapper.
there you
I'm gonna
go.
stop. Anyway, y'all, this
Done with
podcast
it right now.
sucks. Hit the like button on the
Yay!
video. Rate it 5
I'm done with you.
stars.
Moving on to
Apple
the
and
movies.
Spotify.
Jonah Hill is going to play John Daly, which, if you don't know who John Daly is one of the worst. He's a great golfer, but one of the worst crazy human beings ever. He would drink, smoke, do drugs, throw televisions out of hotel rooms. Like, this boy was a wild dude. So I'm excited about this. I think this is fantastic. Love John Daly growing up. I think this is a great cast for it. Everybody has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. So
No,
that's
I've heard
fine.
I don't know anything about it, but I will say I'm just proud of Jonah Hill for finally getting something that seems like it's going to be centered
Different.
on him instead of him being a side character.
Mhm.
Because he really is a phenomenal.
This is very
actor,
him. This is a
inspiring
very
to
Jonah Hill.
Oh yeah.
watching him on the
thing.
sidelines.
This isn't a slight at him. Is this gonna be a regular build role, an in shape role, or like his normal
heavier
build?
set guy.
Because I remember Jonah Hill been
Look up
randomly
John
doing
Daly.
body.
Look up John Daly.
Well, Jonah Hill been doing random body transformations, and I feel like he look
Yeah.
different every time I see about him. He go from muscular.
This boy
to
is
skinny.
like the live action Clayface. Like, I don't know what to tell you about Jonah Hill right now, but look up John
All
Daly
right.
for golf.
Hmm.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
I forgot
but,
that you try to deter this sports. You just this fucking mullet, y'all.
Yeah,
This
hell
is-
yeah. That's John Daly, baby, the bad boy of golf.
This is disgusting.
Hell yeah.
He
Right
looks
there.
so much
Go-
better.
He looks like,
so much better as an old
Steve
man.
Irwin just had one bad day.
I'm telling you, this dude was the shit back in PGA days.
Gina,
he was
Gina,
the shit.
let us know what.
But
what
he
looks
always
better,
was wild. He
him-
was always
him
wearing
here or him here. I think he looked better as an
No,
older
no.
man.
Go to the blue with the shorts. Go to the blue with the shorts. Down, right there. Yeah, that's typical John Daly right there.
Now that's
I see it. Yeah.
I
Like
it's gonna be
Santa Claus
fantastic.
on vacation. That's what it is.
y'all see his pants. Hold on, y'all see
Yeah.
his pants.
Yeah,
He got some dead pants on.
That's-
I'm just saying, bro.
bro, that is John Daly. That's typical John Daly. He always
You know
wore
what?
wild shit.
You know what it is? He needed the beard.
Anyways,
The beard made him smashable. 100%.
a friend of ours, Coy, he got to interview Keanu Reeves at San Diego Comic-Con this past couple months for his new comic called Berserker. And the rumor is right now, Keanu's actually looking to make it a live action and he wants to direct and star in it. I am down.
I'm not. Go ahead, Gina.
Why?
I'm
I just-
indifferent.
I mean, it's just y'all. Does Keanu really do anything that outstanding? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't really do a whole lot, bro.
John Wick is fantastic.
That's his thing. He's just like that calm Zen
Yeah.
presence.
John Wick is
Okay.
fantastic in the way that Taken is fantastic.
No,
It's
Taken's
just
not
like-
fantastic.
Taken is absolutely
Okay,
fantastic.
then
We're not
there
having
we
a
go.
discussion.
John Wick isn't fantastic. But it's like the same as far as like it's just really good action. The storyline is just okay.
Hey, Adam, I'm gonna take a note from your book. You could literally put anyone else in the movie, and the movie doesn't change.
No, 100% that's a lie.
Anyway,
I'll say him as
Gina, your
Batman,
thoughts
and
on
then,
Keanu Reeves?
That was pretty fire.
As an actor,
Sure. Like, I mean, what else? What else? I don't. It's just like one of those things that he just. Who just muted? Oh, you have a train going by.
no, I
Okay.
have a car. Sorry, my
Oh,
neighbor.
okay.
Damn, she lives in
No,
the city. You think it's automatically a train? Damn.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, but yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves, love him. I agree. Calm soul. I love hearing him talk and do interviews and all that. But it's just like, He's the same reason that y'all be claiming to not really care for Dwayne Johnson. He plays the same person all the time.
This is a newly formed opinion because Keanu's actually a really good, but this is his older stuff. So his filmography is actually weirdly impressive. Like he's actually has, I know this is like his whole thing now is like calm, long hair type thing, but he actually is a really good actor. Like I look at him as a whole because I've always been a fan.
Isn't there a rumor of him coming back to play Constantine?
I heard.
Yeah, and people were like, nobody cares because why do we want Constantine after 17 years? But
because we're rebooting the DCEU and he can be Constantine now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down.
But no, he has wide range because I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know a whole lot of his work other than the things everybody knows.
Point Break.
Go back. We'll go way back.
But it's one of those things that like today, all I ever hear about is John Wick.
That's his new franchise. That's his new, that's his marketable
thing with like Chris Hemsworth. All you hear about is Thor.
Yeah.
Isn't Chris Hemsworth got a new thing coming out though? Kind of like the Extraction 2, and then there's another thing I just saw. I think he was
good in what was it, Spiderweb, the Netflix movie with Miles Teller.
He was good in it, but that was not good.
No, but he was good. I enjoyed him and Miles.
He's doing a Limitless, apparently. I think.
Yes, that's it.
What were you gonna say, Gina?
No, I think he needs to do a wider range of films, like because I did see in Spiderweb, like he has a lot of charisma, but I feel like his roles are always kind of boring or one note. So I would like to see him.
Blonde-haired white guy,
Yeah, his charm. You can only ride off of your charm for so long, so it's like I want to see him do something challenging, unexpected, but we'll see. Yeah. But with Keanu, I feel like he's just at a stage in his career where he's probably just taking it easy, but he has the talents there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But yeah.
And then we're going to talk about something I absolutely love. Rings of Power finale just happened on Friday. Gina, do you watch Rings of Power?
No, but I know everything that's happened. So yeah.
Don't spoil anything for me because I am going to start it probably today or tomorrow.
You don't know what happens in the finale? Even I know.
No, I literally haven't started like the show yet because I've literally been we've just watched Game of Thrones.
Too much content.
Well, let's talk about Game of Thrones then, since we've all seen it.
Well,
you're not going to talk about that.
We can't.
He's only Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, not Hot D, just Game of Thrones.
We are now on episode, I think 6 or 7 out of the 8 for House of the Dragons.
First of all, time out.
So we're close.
No. Jacob, tell Gina your thoughts on because they just watched all of Game of Thrones, Gina. All of it.
Fresh off.
Do it, Jacob. Okay. Tell her your thoughts on Game of Thrones.
Can we do this offline?
No.
I liked Game of Thrones. I think that the internet is too harsh on it. I think I'm guessing it was something that they must have done post, like actually putting it out there for the first time. But I didn't see how the episode was too dark for people. I'm guessing they edited it and put it on HBO Max after the fact. I think my only issue at the end was for me, it seemed really random for Bran to be king. It made sense, but it seemed really random. It was like,
and then didn't you also not like what's her name? Sansa? You were just like, man, fuck Sansa.
No. I didn't like dislike Sansa, but at the same time, I was just like, I'm sorry. I disliked Sansa.
Yeah,
I was about to say something and I was like, no, that literally is me saying I hate her. Yeah, I really didn't like her. Like at the end, she was like, the North will remain an independent kingdom. I was like, after all this, like, come on.
Jacob Deadass is like, I didn't hate her. I just she wasn't in it.
The other day, we were playing Multiverses yesterday, and there's been rumors for Sansa to be coming into the game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the fuck is Sansa going to do in Multiverses? Call somebody to fight her battle? Like, literally Arya and everybody else from Game of Thrones is great, but Sansa? Like, what?
Because it's Sophie Turner.
But I loved Game of Thrones. I thought it was a phenomenal show. I did notice that it was a little bit rushed in the last 2 seasons, but it didn't bother me enough to where I would go ranting about it online.
Well, then you didn't watch it week by week.
Exactly.
That's what I told him. Yeah. That's what I told him.
I can understand how people were mad back then, but as a show now, it just in the binge model, it's great. Like there really isn't that much of a problem with it. And I wouldn't, watching it now, I understand back then, I wouldn't have fired the 2 guys from the Star Wars film watching it now because it still was really good, even though there were some.
They didn't fire them.
Skips and things didn't wrap.
Yeah, they
up.
hired them.
Yeah, they didn't.
They fired them after they hired.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Star Wars people firing them. I thought you were saying
I wouldn't have fired them from Star Wars after they got hired because of the Game of Thrones.
I would have.
No, they didn't. They didn't get fired because of that. There was another thing that they put out that was controversial and was in poor taste. Yeah. It was a Civil War thing. If the South won, it was not. It was.
Here's what I'll say about the Rings of Power without saying anything about Rings of Power. The connection to the original IP was so good. Was just so good.
Game of Thrones?
No, the Rings of Power to Lord of the Rings now.
Someone who's a big fan of dwarves, and like literally anytime I do a D&D campaign, I'm always a dwarf. Is Durin in the show?
No.
Are there any familiar dwarves in the show? Are there a good amount of dwarves in the show?
Yes. There's some familiarity, but like here's the other thing you got to remember. Amazon bought a bunch of the IP. They don't own all of it. So they can't do some of the storyline.
Yeah, I got you.
So they're playing with it, but boy, that last episode, Gina, how great was that last episode?
From what I saw, great.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, you ain't watched it. You just heard about it.
No, yeah, I follow every episode. Like,
yeah,
but I just don't sit down and watch it. It's not for me.
So good, Jacob. It is so good. It's a warm blanket of just nostalgia. That last episode.
Well, I just feel like a fake loader fan because I literally haven't had the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm with Jacob on like there's just too much content. I think we can all agree.
Each episode's like a full-on movie. It's like an hour and a half each. It's just
and each episode's like $100 million. Like it's a movie.
House of the Dragon, it doesn't feel like a chore. Like it's actually exciting.
Yeah, because it's 53 minutes. It don't feel like a chore, bro.
It does not.
It's
exciting.
I'm without him on this one. I feel like
I'm not a big fan of Hot D.
It's
when you start it, you'll
it's just politics.
Well, it's a family drama. That's the point. Like,
yeah, I feel like I'm watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Yeah,
that's exactly what somebody said.
Wait a minute. Adam, then you shut the fuck up, Mister. I love Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I do love Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I don't like Hot D. Do you know why I don't like Hot D over the Kardashians?
Because Game of Thrones preceded it, and you expected Game of Thrones.
It's better than Game of Thrones.
No, what I'm not going to do is sit here and allow everybody to go, one thing's okay to ship, the other one's not okay to ship, and no one talk about that at all.
Okay, so that's you letting the internet taint you. I don't listen to Twitter while watching the damn show. No, that's great. I watch the show, and then whatever weirdos are shipping relatives on Twitter, I don't give a fuck about that. They can do that and be weird. That doesn't change the fact
it's still in front of me on TV.
Jacob, just keep watching the show.
Wait, what don't you like?
He's talking about how people be on the internet.
The uncle niece.
People be on the internet shipping people that are related.
So what?
Just because it happened back then doesn't mean Uncle Niece is okay now.
Viserys and Daemon's parents are brother and sister. Everyone before them were Viserys' wife.
The uncle is married to the niece.
Did you just hear? His parents were brother and sister.
Y'all out here spoiling the show.
Thanks a lot.
What does it matter?
Anyways,
leave it to Adam. He always will just say
whatever.
Some shit.
It doesn't ruin anything.
Aegon the Conqueror married his two sisters. They were in a threesome. Like,
still disgusting.
That's the Targaryens. That's only a generation.
I'm not saying that it's not disgusting, but I'm just dead.
Adam
in fact,
Copeland is supposed to be playing Ares in Percy Jackson.
Thank you. That's right. Percy Jackson got rated R, baby.
Oh yeah.
More importantly, Jessica Parker Kennedy is playing Medusa, and I just want to point out, because DC fans, we know, even though the Flash has ran way too many seasons, she was in the Flash as Nora Allen. Did y'all know that she's 38?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She was on Smallville for a few episodes.
She was on Smallville as well.
Do you know how we know she's 38?
Because you're 87.
Yep. Because she's been around as long as we have.
No, but and then yes, Ares and Clarice were also or Ares was cast. Sorry, Clarice has been cast.
Edge is Ares I really like.
Yeah. I'm excited. I've been saying on TikTok, I I am becoming an all-around page. I'm about to get back into my young adult series and dramas
Percy
and
Jackson's
shit.
gonna be fantastic. Did you watch read Percy Jackson at all, Gina?
Yeah, when I was a kid, like
40 years
and
ago.
then I saw the Dylan. Who was in that? The
Dylan
other
O'Brien?
movie.
Oh, the original Percy Jackson movies?
Like the movie, yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Like 10 years ago. Yeah, Logan something. Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. Keep talking.
Yeah.
I got it.
Rick Riordan had problems with that original adaptation because they aged them up, which made it really difficult to like actually continue, because by the time they wanted to get to a third movie, the actors were like 25, and it's like, all right, we need y'all to play 17-year-olds.
Logan Lerman, Alexandra Daddario, Nathan Fillion.
Well,
he
I
was
want
in Sea Monsters.
Oh.
I'm ready to see Walker Scoble, because that kid is doing good things.
Yeah,
I like
think it's just
that.
weird. Like after reading the books, it's so weird to think about a 12-year-old fighting Ares now. Like, because I don't know why, but me as a kid, I always pictured it more as like what the movies made it out to be, where it's like he's not old, but he's a kid.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, no, this is a full-on child. Like, just full-on going against pretty much 50% of the gods at all times.
Seriously. At all times. Do y'all think that the show is going to do each season is a book, or they're just going to kind of like what Jacob said, they're going to tell whatever amount of story they're going to tell within a season?
I think they're going to kind of Game of Thrones it, where they'll do certain bit of the book and then maybe continue it to another season, the rest of that book, and maybe some of the second book or something.
I would say that they would do that. I would say that would be the best bet, but since it's Disney, I think they're going to do one book a season.
Probably.
How many episodes y'all think a season? I don't think that's been confirmed.
8.
10?
15.
I would like 10. I get where Adam's going, though, because they're going to longer models, like with Andor, and they will be with Daredevil born again. So, Gina, your highly anticipated fight to happen in season 1. What are you looking forward to from Percy Jackson?
God. I don't know.
I'm honestly looking forward to the Medusa.
Oh, okay. Isn't that who she's playing?
Yeah, that's who Kennedy's playing. I'm looking forward
to her in the movies.
Who?
What?
In the first movie, didn't Uma Thurman play Medusa?
Yes.
Did she really?
Mm-hmm.
See, now I'm going to rewatch it. Yeah.
They're on Disney Plus.
They are. Speaking of on Disney Plus, do you know what started streaming on Disney Plus yesterday?
No.
New Mutants.
Oh,
shoot, it did.
I saw that, yeah.
Didn't you like New Mutants? I thought you liked New Mutants, Jacob.
I didn't hate it.
No, you liked Runaways, right?
Runaways is great.
Why are those even in the same category for you?
I couldn't remember the word. They were
Runaways
both on
is
Hulu.
way up here.
They were both on Hulu. I just named
Samsonite. He was way wrong.
Oh my God, bro. Gina, so I'm starting this solo podcast. If you would like to, I don't have time to do a solo podcast.
Right.
I'm completely kidding.
Well, we did talk about pretty much everything. We got into a 2-hour argument about DC, and
2-hour argument in an hour and a half episode.
I think we need a whole podcast about Game of Thrones, and I mean it, because I have thoughts.
You know what? When Jacob finishes House of the
will.
Dragon,
I'll probably finish it today or tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, we'll plan a Game of Thrones.
Is the next? I think
live
the last episode's
convo
next week.
I was gonna say, is the season done? Because they
no, there's 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Focus on the blacks and the greens. So yeah.
Yep.
So when it ends, let's talk House of the Dragon. We'll bring Gina back on, and
so
we'll
it
just
ends
have a
next
whole
week,
episode
technically.
No, 2 more weeks.
No, so
2
like
more
tomorrow's one episode, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
means it would be 2 weeks before we have that episode. So
And we can't do anything that following week, actually. Let me make sure my math is correct, because that would be
I don't know what
that's
comes
tomorrow.
out. Oh, is that when Black Panther comes out?
That's roughly the time of Black Panther. It's a week before. We might be a little busy.
Jacob getting married.
Imagine.
I'm literally getting married. Jordan's coming to the wedding, and he said, "Oh, is that the week Black Panther comes out?"
Yeah, what's that about, man?
We're coming to the wedding, okay?
Bro,
Are we recording?
Changing my life forever, and you're more concerned about Shuri becoming Black Panther.
No, I'm
And?
talking about what we're saying in the episode. Wait a minute. Do you want to record a podcast the Saturday before you get married?
I will.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he was talking about the Saturday after you're married. So
that's how
after.
committed I am to my friends.
Aw.
Are
I
we
don't want
not
to talk
coming?
about commit. Hold on. Let's not talk about commitment. I came and did this podcast after being in a hospital for 48 hours with my newborn baby, and I didn't need
Dead
to.
ass.
Oh, did that hurt? Giving birth to that baby?
Wow.
It hurt having to watch my lady
Fatality.
get cut. My lady get cut open. So
I'm
trust me.
out of this one.
Look at this man shaking.
Anyways, so
we
as
sitting there
always-
playing Oppression Olympics.
yeah, right.
Right?
Seriously,
I
how
suffer
bad's
the
your
most here,
life?
okay? No.
She does. She got what? You got black woman, which is one by itself. And then is there anything else I missed? You can let me know.
Those are the big ones. Poor or yeah.
All I got against me is black man. I'm straight, so I don't get that one.
I was homeless
Adam's-
for a couple years out of my life, so
Are we really doing this? Hey, Adam, you got the 3 strikes, right? Straight
Yeah, I got
white
3
man.
straight white male. Yeah, I got
You don't
3
get to have an opinion.
Nope. So anyways, moving on. Great way to end the podcast. Positive as always, boys. Gina, where can everyone find you?
Oh, on TikTok, 13th of May
Score.
Yeah,
underscore.
because my other account got banned, so I added that.
What were you at on the other account? Like, what was your following on that one?
I got to like over 10K, but then I posted the Snyder Batcat photo and it was lights out.
Naughty,
Risque.
naughty.
Wait,
Yeah.
they can't find you nowhere else? Didn't you just start up a Twitter?
Oh, I've been my Twitter's dangerous, so let's not go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
What's Twitter? Now we want to know.
she said, I only post the Snyderverse Batcat photo. That's the only thing.
Oh yeah.
It's her banner and her icon.
I'll be sure because I know your ad's different. I think on every single one
it's
because
13th
13th of May.
of May, but like 1-3 of May. Yeah. 13th.
I'll put the links.
We'll
that you
put
would like
everything
me
in
to
the
put in the
okay,
description
cool.
down below.
Yeah.
Y'all be sure to go follow her if you especially want to know everything about Smallville. Smallville's got new stuff coming too, and she'll tell you all about it.
They do, and she is super excited. I'm actually, Jared and I were talking about rewatching it. It's on Hulu, by the way. If everybody wants to rewatch it,
I was telling Jordan I might watch it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You should make a series on
how
TikTok.
dare you
They'll probably
offend
go.
Gina right before we let her go?
That was
She
my
didn't get offended. She said, "Oh, nice."
Literally.
No,
This
that
man
was
trying to
my
start stuff.
original content was all a Smallville recap. So I recapped like 8 seasons and then they blocked me. So
I might just
I'm
like
not
start
doing that
watching
again.
the show and then just watch your recap afterward. But
Well, they're all gone because the
Yeah,
account was banned.
TikTok took them.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I know.
that cat strikes again.
I know.
All right. Well, as always, that's KingVonSchweetz. That's JPhrygian. I am the official Megs.
We don't
And-
fight on every episode. I promise, guys.
100%. That's what family does, right? Because I don't have friends. I got family.
You Dom Toretto.
By the way,
Family.
before we talk about it, how dare they Dom Toretto us with the She-Hulk finale?
I know.
And that is literally the cookout, like at the end of every movie. That's
That's
literally
actually a
what they
fair
did.
point. It really was. You didn't feel it, Jacob? You didn't feel Dom Toretto by that?
Not in the moment, but afterward, I saw it on Twitter. I was like, no, yeah, this makes
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's because I just watched all 8 of those or 9 of those movies this past
8.
10.
There's only 8. 9 and 10 are coming out.
9 because of Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay,
Fair enough.
But yeah, I watched all of those movies, and I was like, afterward, I saw it on Twitter. I was like, yeah,
Yep.
that's really what they did.
All right. Well,
Meet
hey,
my son. Everybody's like, yeah.
hey, as always, don't forget,
I love you 3000.
we love you 3000. We will talk to everyone later. Always a pleasure. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.